Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. I want to thank you for all attending this Zoom meeting so I can go over our final expense live transfer program and how it may work for you and how to get started on it if it's something that you're interested in. My name is Tim Johnson. I'm the Director of Marketing at Saving Options and Solutions. My email and phone number are down there, so you can contact me after this if you're interested. I have attached two contracts to the chat box. And if this is something that you're interested in, those two contracts are the ones that you may be starting with. If you have a problem with either of those companies, we can get you started with a different company, but I'll go over that in a little bit. I just wanted to let you know what was attached there. Okay. So our program here, it's a wonderful opportunity for agents. We started doing this around the beginning of COVID. We've been, oh gosh, in the business forever. Barry's been in this business and had agencies since 1969. I've been in the business for about 25 years now with Barry, and we've done every type of lead out there, direct mail, Facebook, newspapers, internet, email, you name it, we've tried it. And when COVID hit, they all pretty much stopped because obviously we couldn't meet with people face to face. So the next best thing is trying to sell to prospects over the phone. And there weren't a lot of good ways to do it, cold calling, trying to send out, buy leads and then call them afterwards and people not answering the phones. It was a difficult way to do business during this time, and a lot of agents dropped out of the business during this time. But when we started this, it was a lifesaver for a lot of agents who had no other way to write business. So even before COVID hit, you all know, if you've been in the business for any amount of time, that leads are there. A lot of times they are tough. You can order and receive as many leads as you want, but getting the people to answer the phone is the hard part. With our program here, you don't have to search for prospects anymore. We do that for you. No more paying for internet leads that were also sold to other agents, which happens to a lot of companies do that. A lot of companies sell them cheaper, telling you that they've sold them to a lot of agents, and then they'll have the premium price for leads that only go to you, and you just have to trust that that's what's happening. And that's not always what is happening. No more calling leads that don't answer their phones. As I mentioned, that's the hardest part of writing business these days, is getting a hold of people on the phone. Over the last several years, it's been a lot harder. And that's why this program that we're doing, we're leaving that to a call center to do for us. We're just there to take the calls and write the business. Let them do the hard part of the cold calling. No more driving to see clients face to face. No more being stood up on appointments. I've run appointments with agents all across the country. And I remember one time out in Georgia, I was running leads with an agent, and we were out till it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, driving many miles from house to house. It's out in the boonies out there, and that's how they have to do business. And you drive an hour to a house and they may or may not be there. And it's a tough way to do business. So you don't have to worry about that anymore either. So we have some questions here for you to ask yourself. Are you spending at least $100 on marketing every day? Most agents are not doing that. We will do that for you. These live transfers, we are paying for them. We don't ask anything from you unless I'll show you the two programs that we have. One where we pay, and then one if you decide that you would want to pay for them, you get the full comp. When we pay, of course, there's a reduced comp. But if you're not spending at least $100 on marketing every day, you're probably not writing a lot of business. It's hard to keep writing referrals over and over. Are you currently spending 16 hours each week cold calling for clients? I doubt it. No agents like to cold call. No agents like to even place warm calls with leads. And so that's, as I mentioned before, the calling is the hardest part of this. But you don't have to do the cold calling. We'll do the cold calling for you. Are you talking to 5 or more prospects about life insurance every day? If you were, you would be very successful in this business, but it's hard to find 5 or more people looking for insurance every day. Work with us and you will. You'll have 5 or more prospects every day that you're on the life transfer program to talk to. Are you writing at least one life app every day? Again, probably not. It's tough out there. With us, you will be. So our offer, we have free final expense live transfers, as I mentioned before, unless the agent wants to pay. And I'll go over those 2 different options in a little bit, but this is kind of laying out our program here. So we'll get you the free live transfers. We will get you product and sales training. We have docs and videos on our final expense website. We also do Zoom trainings for groups and agents one-on-one. We do training for the live transfer web system. When you do these live transfers, you'll be taking the calls on a website. And so the phone will be through your computer, and you'll be doing these through e-apps. So that'll be on the computer. We'll train you in all of that. And we'll get you set up with the insurance company contracts. Now, we don't like to just throw paper out there and have agents contract with 10 companies and we hope they write with one of them. We just want to get you set up with the companies that will work for this program and keep it to a minimum. Generally, there's 2 companies. We'll have you get contracted with a company that has a regular final expense plan, but you also have to have a company that has a guarantee issue plan, and not all of the companies do. So sometimes you'll have to have 2 companies, one with a guarantee issue and one with a standard plan. Besides the live transfers, we do have other opportunities with us. If you decide to do the live transfers, you can still take advantage of these other opportunities. If you decide the final expense live transfers aren't for you, again, we still have these other opportunities that we can help you with. We do Medicare and MedSup live transfers. And if you have been in the Medicare business very much, you know that the AEP season just ended on December 7th, or is ending on December 7th. And a lot of people think, well, that's the end of the Medicare business, but that's not true. With the call center, we get a list of people with birthdays coming up in the next month to 2 months. The call center will contact them, and that's when they can, it's for when they're turning 65. That's when they can sign up with Medicare. And so we try to get a hold of them before other people do. And the agents have been very successful in this program. We have many top life insurance contracts. We have all the big companies, and we offer top contracts to agents. We'll help you with advanced case help. If you have big estate planning cases, maybe you need some sort of advanced annuities or anything else, give us a call and we're there to help you. We have a lot of annuities with all the top annuity companies. We'll train you on all of our products and sales system, not just the final expense live transfers. And if you're interested in building a downline, we'll help you recruit and train agents also. So we want you, and here's our criteria that we need for you. Number 1, have a minimum of 5 non-resident state licenses, preferably more than 5. If you don't have them right now, that doesn't mean that this program won't work for you, because we can help you get those non-resident licenses. We have a list of all the fees and the websites to go to get them. These are the companies that we recommend where we have the most success with final expense. And the more states you have, the more transfers you'll get. It's a call center that's calling these people. And so part of it is a numbers game. The more people they have to call, the more transfers they'll get. And if you have just a couple states, they aren't always calling in every state. And so the more states you have, the more transfers you'll get and the busier you'll be. Here's a list of the state fees that I was talking about. We have this list on our website, finalexpense.business. Down at the bottom here, there's a link at the NIPR website where you can sign up for any states that you want. Besides having the non-resident licenses, we need you to spend at least 16 hours per week on the live transfer program. And we say that because we've seen agents that work the program, and when they didn't put in enough time, they weren't successful. And that's really been the difference between the successful agents and the ones that aren't successful. It's just how much time they're spending on the program. So if you show up and you put the effort in and you're trained on the products, like I mentioned before, this is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more sales you'll get. So putting that time in, you can't help but write business, really. Okay, we also ask that you be online taking calls when you've told us you will be. And the call centers have to staff up and assign callers to us based on the number of agents we have taking the live transfers. So we'll have you give us a schedule a week in advance of what your next week would look like, so the call center can be sure to have people there calling for you, and make sure that you do get those live transfers. And so when you tell us you're going to be on, we really need you to be on, because they have people waiting there to make calls for you. We'll also have you do a daily live transfer report update. We'll provide you with a Google Sheet, and you'll just put the lead information and the results and the follow-up information on there. It helps us to know if you're having any problems with the business. We can see it on the report. Of course, we obviously need to know what's happening with the leads and making sure they're getting worked, the live transfers, that is. So we'll have you fill out this Google Sheet report update every day, even days when you aren't receiving live transfer calls. You'll have follow-up on a lot of other calls. Not every live transfer will be sold on the first call. Oftentimes it takes 2 calls, sometimes even more, to get this taken care of and written and done. So you will have some follow-ups that you'll need to do, and we'll want to see those on the Google Sheet. And communicate with us. That's very important. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask. Because we're paying for the live transfers, we're not charging you guys anything. So we're not making any money off of you unless you write business. So if you're having a problem in any area of it, don't be afraid to ask. We want to help you. We want you to be successful, because that's the only way we can be successful. And again, put time and effort into your work. If you put the time in, you will write business. And so here are the 2 ways to participate. Number 1, we pay for the live transfers. Your comp is reduced. Generally, it's 40% on standard final expense policies. We do have comp increases based on production each month, and we have app bonus each month. And so besides just the regular commission, you can get the increases and the app bonuses based on how much you write every month. And at any time, you can change and pay for your own live transfers and receive full comp at any time. Now, when we switch you over to you paying for the live transfers, we don't add any money onto the cost of the live transfers. As a matter of fact, if you pay the live transfer company direct, that makes it even easier on us. And so you'll also see that there's not extra money that we're adding on for those live transfers. Again, we only make money when you make money. So whether we're paying for them or you're paying for them, we're not making any money off the leads. We're only making money when you write the business. And so our number 1 goal is to make you successful in this program. Now, here are some of the contract options. And as I mentioned, I sent over American Amicable and Great Western. American Amicable is a great company. Underwriting has been great. Their rates are very good. They're not going to always be the lowest rate if you do go and do an online search. Some other companies are, but many of those companies don't offer an e-app, or they don't offer contracts to all agents. So these main companies here, these are the real companies that agents can write with. Of course, there's AIG, we have Mutual of Omaha, we have a lot of other companies too that we can set you up with if these companies don't work for you. But these are the best companies as far as e-apps, underwriting, and rates that we've come across. Mutual of Omaha, for example, would be a great option. All the seniors know the Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. They know the name, but their e-app process is just way too long, and there's a lot of errors when you go through it. I'll just be honest with you. They're supposed to be redoing their system, but until they do, we really can't use them on this program just because we've lost cases just trying to get the e-app going through. So if American Amicable or Great Western don't work for you, American Amicable is the company that has the standard plan for final expense, but they don't have a guarantee issue. That's where Great Western comes in. They have a great guarantee issue that is one of the lowest cost companies out there for the guarantee issue also. So what happens if you decide that you would like to give this a try? It takes about 2 weeks to get up and going on the program. So these are the steps that you'll go through. Number one, you'll submit contracts to us, either American Amicable and Great Western or whatever contracts you need to use that we work with you on. Then if you don't have non-resident licenses or enough non-resident licenses, at that time, you're going to apply for them also. And they don't have to cost a lot of money. Some companies, I think it's Ohio, is just $10. Other companies are over $100, even $200. But I did have that list on here that showed the companies that we recommend that you do. And it's going to be well worth you getting the money. Even if you decide that the final expense live transfers don't end up being something that you want to do, having those non-resident licenses is always a good thing to have. You'll need them in the future if you're going to keep, if you're going to stay in the business. The business has changed and is no longer just writing local people for the most part. You have to open up your clientele, and this is a way to do it. So after you've submitted contracts and applied for non-resident licenses, we'll get you the login information for our final expense website where you can study the materials and videos. We'll have you schedule Zoom training meetings, as many as you need to be ready to go. You'll receive login for live transfer website. Currently, we're using Vici is the website. Different companies use different sites, different call centers. And so right now we've been using Vici with a very good call center that we're using, and we're happy with them. So we'll get you all trained and get your login for that. Then you'll give us your schedule for the next week's live transfers when you want to get started so we can let the call center know. You'll check the status of your non-resident licenses. We'll check the status of your insurance company contracts, make sure everything's going smoothly on that. You'll continue studying and the e-app procedures, products, scripts, and then towards the very end, you're going to, once your contracts are approved, we're going to have you register and log in and practice the e-app portals. They're pretty easy, but just getting through them once and maybe practicing a little bit on it, it'll make it a lot smoother for you, and you'll be a lot more comfortable. So how to get started? If you do want to get started, number one, fill out the contracts. You should have American Amicable and Great Western contracts in the chat box there. And again, if either of those contracts don't work for you, we'll get another company that works for you. You'll start studying the products, sales scripts, videos, you'll attend the Zoom training meetings, and then you'll be ready to go and start receiving live transfers and writing apps. Now, as I mentioned, this is kind of a golden opportunity for agents. As far as I know, we're the only agency out there that is paying for 100% of the final expense live transfers. Some companies charge just to have a seat to be at the table to do this. And we have taken it upon ourselves to pay for that, not only while you're getting up and going, but as long as you're there writing business. And if this doesn't work out for you, that's okay. You're not going to get a bill from us or anything like that. We'll just try to help you in whatever other ways we can. And one way or another, if you want to do this program and you put the time in, you'll be successful in it. I just want to keep stressing that it's not difficult. It's final expense, pretty easy to sell. It's a numbers game. And so if you put in the time and if you learn the products and the e-apps, you will be successful on this. So that is the live transfer overview. Again, here is my contact information. There's Barry Wilkin, who is the CEO of the company, his contact information also. I do want to stress that this is something, if you would like to get started on this, I really recommend that you get started now. Towards the end of the year here, business slows down, people go on vacation, or people are, not wanting to spend so much money because they have to buy Christmas presents or Hanukkah presents, things like that. So the business can slow down this time. So this is a good time to get your contracts in order, non-resident states, get the training going. And because we're using a call center, business doesn't just stop. There's not as many people out there to get a hold of if they're traveling or on vacation or whatever the case may be. But that's the beauty of the call center. They just go through all the numbers until they find someone that's ready to talk. So you won't be dead until the end of the year, but the sooner we can get you up and going, the sooner you'll be ready to start. And January 1st, you'll be ready to take off on this. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you are interested, if you want more information, you see the phone number and the email. Best thing to do in the beginning is to shoot me an email, because sometimes I'm in the office, sometimes I'm not, but I get my emails all the time right away. So that's a good place to start. If you're interested, let me know and I'll give you a call and talk to you and get you all set up and going. And again, I want to thank you for jumping on this, and I look forward to working with you. And trust me, if you put in the time and effort, you're going to be successful at this. And I look forward to helping you with that. Thank you.